Chris, and go.
Hey, yeah, Kyler, I was just really curious about just the feeling in the room right now, especially given the history of the last few years and how competitive the secondary has been to try to find places for playing time, and knowing how you've really had to make your mark on special teams to get your turns on defense. What is it like week in and week out to try to compete with these guys to earn playing time, and what's the overall mood like right now there?
The overall mood right here in our room is just to be the best. So every week I practice. I mean, this is one of the reasons why I came here is to be competitive and be in a competitive room to push me to be my best self. So every week we're just competing with myself and each other, just to be the best. This is competitive nature in the room. That's what we're all about.
All right, we'll go to Dan Raley, then Lars. Go ahead, Dan.
Kyler, you've been a starter and a special teams ace, I guess. What's the big thing you need to do with your game, as you progress, as you, move back into the lineup?
In my game, I would say just, I don't know, just going out there and, fully dissecting the defense or the offense, being able to predict like what's coming, more of that. And so once I get to know more of the game and be more confident in my calls, that allows me to play more free. So I've been able to do that, get in, watch more film, and it makes the game a lot more easier.
All right, Lars Hansen, and then Mike Vorel, and then hands up for Kyler, please. Go ahead, Lars.
Hey, Kyler, you had over 300 snaps as a wide corner last year. Just how much did that help you coming into this season, just being more mentally ready, mentally prepared?
Just allowed me to, have that experience and kind of know the feel of the game. So those 300 snaps just allow me to, know how the game moves, and it just allows me to feel out better.
All right, Mike Vorel, then Chris Fetters. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, Kyler, I'm wondering, to start last season, there was a couple games where you had some difficult moments, and then it seemed like you really bounced back from that going through the season. I'm wondering what you took from some of that adversity that you faced early on.
Last year?
Correct.
I really just looked at my weaknesses, took that aside in the off season, and was really detailed on how I can correct myself in order to make a bigger difference and a bigger impact for this next year. So just finding my own weaknesses and making them better for the sake of the team and the unit.
All right, Chris, and then Dan. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, Kyler, also kind of curious if you could dissect for us your play where you forced the fumble in the fourth quarter.
Basically, I just keep an outside contained, knowing that I can't let him get outside, and just keep my head on the outside, and my head hit the ball and just forced the fumble. Just came down instead of letting him come to me, just come to him. Yeah.
All right, Dan Raley, then Lars. Go ahead, Dan.
Kyler, two things. One, how important is it for you to be a starter? And two, we've read a lot about your athleticism. Do your teammates test you on your athleticism and try and see if they can keep up with you in that manner?
Can you say the first part again?
How important is it for you to be a starter at Washington?
I want to say being a starter is the most important thing. Obviously, it's like team first, and whatever we can do to let the team win. Obviously, it's important, like self-goal for myself, but team first. And then on your second question, sorry, you said one more time.
No problem. Your athleticism is very well known. Jimmy talks about it. I've read about it. Do your teammates test you, want to see if they can jump with you, run with you, whatever you do best?
Yeah, I would say they do, for surely. And that's which allows me to be on the top of my game. I don't like not being tested. So it's good. That goes back to the competition here at Washington, competing 24/7. So they're going to test me and keep me in the loop and everything. So, yeah.
All right, we'll take three more for Kyler, Lars, Kim, and then Mike. Go ahead, Lars.
Speaking of that competition, you play outside corner and slot corner. Just talk about how you view both of those and kind of how does your athleticism help play inside and outside?
Outside and inside. To be honest, I just like to play with both of them. They're just very fun. I just get to I feel like corner or or a nickel, I get more like free range. I don't know. I don't know how to explain exactly, but I just use my God-given ability. God-given ability. So yeah.
All right, we'll go to Kim Grinolds and then Mike Vorel to wrap it up. Go ahead, Kim.
Hey, Kyler. Jimmy Lake recruited you. He was your position coach for a while. How different is it with him not in your meetings, just not around you as much? And when he does appear over in your position groups and meetings, what's it like?
It's a little different, but I would still say he's still pretty much like in my ear, you know, talking, helping me out, giving me still coaching me up all the time. He'll still come over and stuff. It's not 24/7 because he's not in the room, but he's still there. He's not gone.
All right, we'll wrap it up with Mike Vorel. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, Kyler, I know that with special teams and some of the kind of dirty work and coverage and everything, it can be hard for some guys to embrace that. Some guys don't want to. And I'm wondering, you know, was it always natural for you to embrace the special teams coverage and that kind of stuff? Or did you need to be sort of talked into that?
No, I just wanted to take every opportunity that I got, use it to my fullest. You know, if I wasn't able to make that on defense, then I was going to do it on special teams. I was giving my all on every single special teams I can get on and make a play to make a difference for the team and in the game.
All right, that'll wrap it up. Thanks for your time, Kyler, and thanks for everybody stopping in. We'll have Taki here shortly, okay?
All right.
Started, and we'll get started with Chris Fetters, followed by Lars Hanson, and then hands up, please, for Taki. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, Sam, I was just curious, you know, being a Utah guy, what was the reaction from friends and family when you were able to catch up with them after the game Saturday night?
It was really good just to catch up with some of the boys. I probably know like 10 of them on that team, and I probably know the entire coaching staff. And just talking back home, it was just hilarious with the comeback because my grandma was talking to me, telling me how she went to the basement after we were down, but then my grandpa stayed and watched the whole game, and he said a prayer for me, so it was kind of good. So I was just happy that we came out with the win.
All right, we'll go to Lars and then Nick. Go ahead, Lars.
Hey, Taki, just talk about the run game, the run defense you guys specifically. Coach Lake has mentioned wanting to improve that. Just kind of what have you guys been doing to try to get better in that area?
We've been trying to become a lot more physical with getting knockoff and getting off blocks and just kind of making more tackles and just making it easier for our linebackers to run through and get a lot of tackles as well.
All right, Nick Mendro, then Dan Raley. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, with Stanford coming up, they got Austin Jones. What have you guys been doing to prepare for him? Is it any different or much of the same?
Stanford's a good team, so they're physical, we're physical, same as Utah. We just been focusing on being tough, kind of, and just knowing that it's kind of just two teams that are physical up front, and just kind of working on getting off blocks and just holding our blocks and just making sure we're in the right position.
All right, we'll go to Nick. That was Nick, excuse me, Dan Raley, and then Mike Vorel. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, you and Thule are known as the twins, yet you hadn't been able to play in the first couple of games because he wasn't available. And you had him last week. Things seem a little bit more normal with you having him next to you.
Yeah, it feels a little normal, but to be honest, all our guys are ready. You know, it doesn't matter who's playing next to us. We have Bandez and Tui. If anyone's out there with me or they're out there, I trust that they'll do their job. But yeah, it felt good to have him back. And yeah, I'm excited to just keep balling with him and all the young guys and Browns.
All right, we'll go to Mike Vorel, then Chris Fetters, then Lars. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, Taki, I wanted to ask more about what you said at the beginning. Your grandma couldn't stand to watch, so she went to the basement. What was it?
Yeah, we always call and we just joke around. We always joke around the game. That's the first thing I do after our games. I get on the phone and just call my grandparents just because it means so much to me. And she was just like laughing. She was just like, oh my, she was just stressed out, so she couldn't watch. But my grandpa's one of those dudes that just watches no matter what. And then it's hilarious because they told me that my grandpa went downstairs to wake her up and then told him that we won. And my grandma just called me and was just laughing and just saying, good job. So yeah, that's kind of the thing about that.
All right, we'll go to Chris and then Lars. Go ahead, Chris.
And Sam, I was just curious about your relationship with Thule, and when was the first time where you guys really got together and there was kind of an understanding that maybe you guys would have a friendship that would be to the point where everyone now is kind of referring to you as twins?
We met at the Poly Bowl. So we just kind of talked it up. You know, he didn't end up playing, but that's my first time playing D-line. And then we went our own ways, and then we kind of just talked over text. And we just talked about like, hey, why don't we come up to UW, you know, be a duel. And we're just already brothers. I played him my sophomore year. So I ended up playing De La Salle. But yeah, we just kind of kept in touch. And then he was just calling me this one day and was like, hey man, look what Pete tweeted out. And then me and him were just freaking out over the phone. And then we just talked about like coming and changing the culture up here and just creating a pipeline for Polynesians and just kind of just setting the tone for UW and Death Row defense.
All right, we'll go to Lars and then Kim Grinolds and then hands up if there's any more questions for Taki. Go ahead, Lars.
Yeah, just to piggyback off of that, how much of an importance is it for you to have that Polynesian element at Washington and to kind of put on for the Polynesian community?
Well, it means a lot to me. Like, I may not show it, but just being Polynesian and just knowing my roots is just something special to me, especially knowing that my grandparents, you know, kind of gave up their life to come to America to give me a better future, and me just being here and kind of just working my way to repay them and just showing other Polynesian kids that you can do it too. It doesn't matter the situation. If you put in the hard work and you just remember who you're doing it for, then anything's possible.
All right, Kim Grinolds and then Mike Vorel. Go ahead, Kim. Oh, I think Kim dropped off there. Go ahead, Mike Vorel.
Yeah, I've been wondering this, Taki. Is Taki a nickname, or is that more of an ancestral name, or could you just describe where that comes from?
It's a nickname my grandpa gave to me. I don't know where he got it from, but he gave me that nickname, and then I actually changed it to my legal middle name my senior year. So yeah.
All right, well, sorry about that, Kim. We'll go to Kim Grinolds and then Dan Raley. Go ahead, Kim.
Hey, Sam, can you tell us just, what you're seeing out of Zion and what impact is he having on you guys on the inside coming off the edge? And just pre-snap, do you see guys just kind of looking over there, just pointing out where he's at? You can just talk a little bit about the impact he's having.
Yeah, that dude's a beast off the edge. It kind of just gives us more opportunity to work inside with them worrying about the outside. It just gives me and other D tackles to just have them one-on-one. And that's what we've been working on. So with Zion being a threat outside, it just gives us more of an opportunity to kind of get sacks or just make some tackles and cause havoc too. All
right, Dan Raley, then Lauren, then Chris. Go ahead, Dan.
You talked about growing the Polynesian community on the Husky football team. How does it stand compared to other programs like Utah and maybe BYU? How deep is Washington's Polynesian community compared to the others?
I think it's starting to become a lot deeper. I remember when I first came here, there's only a few of us, and then watching the classes after us just grow and grow. And like, we're probably Utah and BYU have an amazing pipeline of Polynesian players. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like up here is where we're starting to see a trend where more Poly kids are coming here, seeing that we can be as successful with Polynesians as BYU and Utah. So I think it's amazing that we're starting that trend here, and I'm kind of happy to be part of that beginning.
All right, Lauren Kirschman and then Chris Fetters. Go ahead, Lauren.
Yeah, Jimmy has talked about Zion in practice and all the success that he's had in practice and how he wasn't surprised with what he's done in games. What have you just seen from him in practice? And heading into the season, did you think that this kind of success was possible for him?
Yeah, I saw the success for him. I saw him working, just in and out, and practice especially, man. Just always going hard, 100% every single time he gets our ones, which is making them better. And also, it kind of feeds us juice too to just see him, just know that he has that edge down. So I'm so happy for him and his success, man. He's blown up. I just am happy for him.
All right, Chris Fetters and then Vorel. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, Sam, I was curious about your personal development from year 1 to year 2, where you got your feet wet last year and now you've really taken it to a different level. For you personally, when you kind of think about the strides that you've made, what are the things that you feel like you've gotten better at?
Personally, just understanding the playbook, playing more confident, and just knowing that I have more power in me and speed in me than I think. And I think just playing behind Josiah, Levi, Shane, Greg, and just watching them and like nitpicking things out of their playbook and just kind of, using it for my own advantage. And that just kind of helped me like figure out what I need to do, especially transitioning from O-line to D-line.
All right, Mike Vorel, go ahead.
Yeah, Taki, just on the same theme from earlier, hearing you talk about your grandparents, it's obvious how much they mean to you. And I'm wondering why they're so important in your lives and just how important they've been in you getting to this point.
They kind of raised me since I was infant, so kind of like a long backstory. But yeah, since I was probably 2 months, they raised me, took me in as their own, and just kind of taught me how to become a man. And like, I think just watching my grandma and my grandpa just like, work long hours just to kind of give me what I have now, just kind of just, motivated me to come to college and just, keep my head on straight and just making sure that I'm able to help them retire and just give back to what they gave me when I was younger.
All right, we'll wrap it up with Chris Fetters. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, you also mentioned the guys behind you, like the younger guys like Tui and Jacob. What are you seeing from that group, and what do you think their potential is for growth this season?
I think the sky's the limit for those guys, man. You got Noah, Tui, Bandage, Draco, Bradley. I think the sky's the limit. They're just getting used to being getting their feet wet like I did last year. So they're just trying to figure it out. I went through the same thing, learning to just play just one snap at a time. You can't look past it. I think they'll probably be one of the best D tackles. All of them will be the best D tackles to come out of UW.
All right, that'll wrap us up. Thank you very much for your time, Taki. Thanks everybody for joining us.
Thank you, guys.